हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरम् भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ओम नमः शिवाय। 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 नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. Om Vangme Manasi Pratishtita Mano Me Vachi Pratishtitam Aviravirma Edhi Vedasya Maani Istaha Shrutam Me Ma Prahasi Anenadhitena Horatran Sandadami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We shall chant the mantras from the beginning. Om Atma Vaidamekaiva Krasit Nanyat Kinchana Mishat Sa Ikshat Lokanusruja Iti. स इमान् लोकान् असृजत अम्भो मरीचिः मरमा आपः अदः अम्भः परेण दिवं द्यौ प्रतिष्ठा अन्तरिक्षं मरीचयः पृथिवी मरो या अधस्तात्ता आपः. This Aitareya Upanishad begins with a very powerful mantra indicating that all this what we are experiencing as this world was Atma alone, without anything else. And now that Atma alone is expressing as this world along with all names and forms. So names and forms are not something different from Atma. So everything is Atma alone. So when Atma alone was there, without the names and forms, then that sankalpa rose in the Atma that let me create the worlds. So he created the worlds. So iman lokan ashrujata. Ambho, Marichi, Marama, and Apaha. So these four worlds were created. Ambaha, Marichi, Marama, and Apaha. So Amba is beyond the Swarga, and Swarga is the Vatishtha, the support of that Ambhaloka. Then Antariksha is Marichayaha. And Prithvi, this Prithvi Loka is Maraha. And Ya Adaha Ta Ta Apaha. And below this Prithvi are the Loka called Apaha. So after creating these worlds, that Atma created the Lokapalas. That is now said in the next mantra. Let us chant mantra number 3. Sa ikshate me no lokaah lokapalanu shruja iti. So adhya eva purusham samudritya amurchayata. Sa ikshate me no lokaah lokapalanu shruja iti. So adhya eva purusham samudritya amurchayata. Sa ikshate, he thought, that Atma thought. Imenu lokaha, that these worlds are now created. The lokas are created. Now I need to create lokapala. Lokapalanu shruja iti. I need to create the protectors of the worlds. Lokapalas they are called. Saha abhya eva. So he, from that, these 5 elements, which with the predominance of water, from these 5 elements, Purusham samudritya, thinking about a Purusha, he amurchayata, he gave a form to that Purusha. So let us see what Shankaracharya ji says in his Bhashya. Sa Ishvaraha punar eva ikshata. Sa Ishvaraha. Here Shankaracharya ji uses the term Ishvaraha for that same Atma. See, Atma alone has become this world, and Atma alone are all the beings. So Atma alone is indicated here as Ishvara. When we talk about the world, when the Shastras talk about the world, then that Atma is indicated as Ishvara. Just as a man, with respect to his children, is indicated as a father. Similarly, with respect to the world, that Atma or that Brahma is spoken about as Ishvara. So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji uses the term Ishvara for that Atma. Ishvara is Atma alone, spoken about along with his powers. See, when we want to speak, when the scriptures, Shastras want to speak about the world, it has to also talk about the powers which are needed to project this world. So that Brahma, along with his power, is called Ishvara. It is just a name of that same Brahma. Is called Ishvara. And his power is what we call Maya or Prakriti. And that Maya or Prakriti is not different from Ishvara. But in order to explain or to teach the creation, the Shastras speak about that Maya as though different from Ishvara, as though he is Upadhi. Just like when I write something, I say I have written this poem in this book, but I can also say that with my hand I wrote this poem. So I talk about hand as though it is different from me, and then I say with my hand I wrote this poem. Similarly, though Maya is not different from that Brahma or from that Ishvara, but the Shastras also speak as though the Maya is different by saying that Ishvara with his Maya created this world. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. In my presence, my prakriti projected this world. So the whole explanation of this world, everything is given so that through the world we can understand that Brahma. There is no other way to comprehend that Brahma other than through this world. So, looking at this world and contemplating on the cause of this world, one comes to understand that Brahma. So Brahma, along with his Shakti, is called Ishvara, and that Ishvara alone is the creator of this world, is the one who sustains this world, and one who dissolves this world. So Ishvara is both the Upadan Karan as well as the Nimitta Karan of this world. So, Sa Ishvara Punaha Eva Ikshata. So, after creating the four worlds, which include all the worlds, Ishvara thought that now let me also create the Lokapalas. Imenu ambaha prabhutayaha maya shrishta lokaha. I have created these worlds beginning with ambaha. So paripalayitru varjita vinasheyuhu. This world also requires someone to protect the world. The world, otherwise, without the protectors, can get destroyed. So, world requires protectors. So, I have to create the Lokapalas. Lokapalas are the protectors of the world. The details we will see as we move forward. So, without these Lokapalas, these worlds will get destroyed. Vinasheyuhu. Tasmad isham rakshanartham lokapalam lokanam palayitrunnu sujay aham iti. Therefore, I will create the lokapalas who will be protecting these worlds. These lokapalas are the various devatas, which we will see further, who they are also responsible to protect the world. So, evam ikshitva, so having thought in this way, so adbhyah eva apya pradhanebhyah, so from the waters, means from these five elements which have predominance of water, from these five elements, Ishvara, he thought of that Purusha. So, Panchabhutebhyaha ebhyaha ambaha prabhutin srishtavan tebhyaha eva ityarthaha. Purusham Purushakaram. So, he thought about a Purusha, means having that form of a Purusha, having the head and the limbs, etc. Shiraha Panyadim Antam Samudritya Adhyah Samutpadaya Mritpindam Iva Kulalaha. So just as a pot maker from the clay makes different types of figures, different types of items. Similarly, taking these five elements as the upadan, as the material, Bhagavan thought of a Purusha, the Virat Purusha, the Samashti Purusha. He thought about the Purusha, thought about his hands and legs and feet and all the limbs, and Amurchayata, thinking in that way, he just took out that material from these five elements themselves. Sapinditavan swa avayava sanyojanena ityartaha. So thought about the various limbs of this Purusha and started the process of creating the Purusha. See here, from everything has come from that Brahma only. So from that Brahma alone is Ishvara. Brahma alone first manifest as Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is also called as Sagun Ishvara. He is also indicated as Sagun Ishvara. Ishvara is Nirgun Nirakar. Hiranyagarbha is Sagun Nirakar. When we say Hiranyagarbha, he has got the pranas, the samashti buddhi, samashti mana, samashti ahankar, and the panchatanmatras. Hiranyagarbha converts these panchatanmatras into panchamahabhut through the process of panchikaranam. And from this panchamahabhut, all the worlds, the lokas are created. And from this pancha mahabhut alone, the Virat Purush or Vaishvanara is also born. So here the mantra is talking about the birth of that Vaishvanara. So from that 5 elements itself, Ishvara thought, let me create this Purusha who will be main responsible to protect the entire worlds, all the worlds. So thinking about that Purusha, he just from that 5 elements thought about the Purusha, about all his limbs, etc. See, these are very subtle processes or subtle teachings. So, with the help of the worldly examples and all, they are explained. If we have to, in modern times, if one has to talk about the creation of this world and all, they use so many languages and so many words and formulas and mathematics, and the big book becomes so voluminous. And even if you read the book, you will not understand what is happening. And most of the things which the science is talking about the creation of this world is just theories. And now, one of the most famous theory of creation of this world in science is the Big Bang theory. According to science, the entire world which we see in front of us means the entire universe with billions of cosmos, with billions of galaxies, the entire cosmos once upon a time was all together. Now, at present, when we observe the universe, the galaxies appear to be moving away from each other. So, if you go back in time, just through thinking, science feels, and that is their hypothesis, their theory, that once upon a time, all these universes, all these galaxies were together. And in the beginning, it was all concentrated in one point, which they call singularity. And then something happened. What happened, they cannot tell. What was there before that, they cannot say anything. And suddenly the universe expanded. That they name it as Big Bang. So these various theories are there which are not accepted by Vedanta, but there are theories. So according to our Shastra, according to Vedanta, in the beginning only that Atma alone was there, and from that Atma alone this whole world has come into manifestation. And it exists in Atma and again merges back into that Atma. Whether we call it Atma or we call Brahma or we call Sat, it is same. Shuddha Atma. So here, that Atma thought that I have created the worlds, so let me create the protectors of this world. So he thought about this Purusha and meditated on the form of this Purusha to manifest that Purusha. Then what happened? Then the mantra continues. The next mantra continues to explain what happened. Let us chant mantra number 4. Tam abhyatapata tasya abhitaptasya mukham nirabhidyata yathandam mukhad vag vacho agnihi नासिके निरभिद्येतां नासिकाभ्यां प्राणः प्राणाद् वायुः अक्षिणी निरभिद्येताम् अक्षिभ्यां चक्षुः चक्षुष आदित्यः कर्णो निरभिद्येतां कर्णाभ्यां श्रोत्रं श्रोत्राद् दिशः त्वं निरभिद्यत त्वचो लोमानि लोमाभ्यः ओषधि वनस्पतयो हृदयं निरभिद्यत हृदयान् मनो मनसश्चन्द्रमा नाभिर्निरभिद्यत नाभ्या अपानो अपानात् मृत्युः शिश्नमिरभिद्यत शिश्नात् रेतो रेतस आपः. So the whole process is described here. Kitam abhyatap tapat. So that Ishvara thought, meditated on this Purusha, just as an artist before painting or before creating that art, the whole thing is brought in his mind. Then he does that on the canvas. Similarly, here Ishvara brought the Purusha in his mind, and then the Purusha started getting manifest. So tam abhyatapat tasya avitaptasya mukham nirabhidyata. So of that Virat Purush, slowly the limbs are getting manifest. So the Mukha, his mouth got manifest. Mukham nirabhidyata yatha andam, just as from that egg, that Mukha manifested. Shankaracharya ji writes, Kitam pindam purusha vidham uddishya abhyatapata. So thinking about that Virat Purush, Ishvara meditated on that Virat Purush, and so even when Hiranyagarbha produces, it is in him, it is the same Brahma alone. So even when Hiranyagarbha is creating, the Shastras continue to use the term Ishvara for the Hiranyagarbha also. Just as in the world, the person who supplies or gives the money and the land and builds the beautiful house, then that person is indicated as the builder of that house. Yeah? Sometimes we tell that ye maine banaya hai, I have built this house. But really speaking, those workers, the laborers, they have built a house. But since I have given the money, it is my land, so that the responsibility is taken as my responsibility. I am the owner. Similarly, behind Hiranyagarbha also, the Shakti belongs to that Brahma alone. Therefore, Brahma alone is indicated as the creator of this world. Though actually, Hiranyagarbha, along with the five great elements, creates the lokas and the Vaishvanara, but behind him is that Brahma alone. So tam pindam purusha vidham uddishya abhyatapata tad abhidhyanam sankalpam krutavam ityartha. So thinking about that Purusha, Ishvara created that Purusha because he is by nature of knowledge. Ishvara by nature is Sarvajnaha. So yasya jnanamayam tapaha. So his tapas is of the nature of knowledge itself. He doesn't have to physically do anything. Just thinking itself is enough to create the worlds. No actual action is required. So his tapas is also of the nature of knowledge. So yasya jnanamayam tapaha ityadi shrutehi tasya abhitaptasya ishvara sankalpena, by his sankalpa of this Ishvara, tapasa abhitaptasya pindasya mukham niravidyata. From that pinda, from that five elements, the material which he had thought of, from that material, first the mukha got manifest, mouth of that Virat Purush. Pindasya mukham niravidyata, mukhakaram Shushiram Jayata, Shushirama Jayata, Yatha Pakshinaha Andam Nirvidyata Evam. Just like from an egg of a bird, it breaks and that bird comes out. Similarly, from that under, from that material, it just opened and that mukha manifested first. Mouth manifested first of that Virat Purush. Then what happened? Tasmat nirvinnat mukhat vak karanam indriyam niravartata. From that mukha, the indriya, vak, speech got manifest. From that mouth is the place from where the speech gets manifested. Now that we have this body, we have our mouth, so the speech gets expressed through our mouth. But in the beginning, the mouth got manifested, and from that mouth, the speech got manifested. Tasmat nirvinnat mukhat Vak karanam indriyam niravartata. Tad adhishthat agnihi tato vacho lokapalaha. And from that vak, from that speech, Agni was born, fire. The Devta called Agni was born. And this Agni Devta is one of the Lokapala, the protector of this Loka. Just as in our body also, our senses, the mouth, the eyes, nose, ears and all, they put together, they protect this body. The entire body gets protected by the inner body, our Sukshma Sharir, the Pancha-Jnanendriyas, Pancha-Karmendriyas, the Pranas, the Antakarana, together they protect this body, keep the body together. If all these factors are not there, the body will get disintegrated and get destroyed. Similarly, at this cosmic level, all these devatas, they keep together, protect the entire creation. So from that mouth, speech got created, and from speech, the Agni Devata. So there are these three things. The mouth is the locus, from where the organ functions. It is called the Golaka, from where the organs function, Indriya Golaka. Then the senses, and then the Devata of those senses. So mouth, this mouth is the Golaka, then speech is the Indriya, the sense organ, and Agni is the Devata which protects that speech, which is the Devata of speech. So first, this Agni Devata was born. Then what happened? Tatha nasike niravidyetam. Then the nostrils, they got manifest. The nostrils got manifest. Nasike niravidyetam. Nasikabhyam prana. And from this nasika, the prana, the vayu, which we breathe in and out through our nostrils. So this vayu, the prana, it got manifest in the breathing. So nasikabhyam prana. And from that prana, vayu, devata was born. So breathing, then from that breathing, vayu, devata was born. So nostril is the golaka, that breathing is the indriya, and the vayu is the devata. So vayu devata was born. Iti sarva adhishthanam karanam devataka trayam kramena nirbhinnam iti. So Shankaracharya writes, in this way, sarvatra adhishthanam, everywhere, the golakas were born, then the senses were born, and the Devata. So Trayam Kramena Nirbhinnam iti. So after this Nasika, then what was born? Akshibhyam, the eyes. Then Chakshuhu, the organ of sight, seeing. See, one we have this physical eyes. But behind these physical eyes are the organ of seeing, sight. The physical eye itself is not the organ of sight. It is just a place from where the organ functions. So if there is some defect, some problem with the eyes, if there is some this cataract or some other problem happens, then that problem happens in the golaka, the physical place from where the sense organ function. Even when there is a defect or some problem happens with the physical eye, the sense of seeing that organ doesn't get affected by it. But it cannot see, I cannot see because the physical eye has got the defect. When that defect gets corrected, then again I can see. So the ability to see is the sense organ. The place from where we see is the golaka, the place. And then the Devata is there. And who is the Devata of the eyes? Aditya, Surya Bhagwan. So Surya is the Devata of the eye. So Surya is also born. See, from the Surya alone, from the sun alone, we get all the light. And in the presence of the light alone, the sense organ of sight functions. If it is absolutely dark, then we can't see anything. So Aditya is the Devata of the eyes. Then Karno Niravidyetam, then the ears, they popped out from that material, the ears of the Virat Purush. And from this ears, Shrotram, the organ of hearing, got manifest. And from the organ of, and thereafter, from the organ of hearing, Shrotra Dishaha, the directions, the various directions, east, west, north, south, up, down, all these directions which are there, these directions are the Devata of hearing. They are the Devata of hearing. See, when we also hear something, we can also know from which side the sound is coming, whether it is coming from behind or in front, or on your left or your right. If we develop that power, we can accurately know. Like the great warrior Prithviraj Chauhan, he could, just from hearing, he can tell exactly where that object is, and he can shoot his arrow there, even blindfolded. So from the Shrotrendriya, the Disha, the directions, the Devata of directions were born. Then Tvak Nirvidyanta, then the skin got manifest. The skin got manifest, and the sense organ of the skin is the tvacha, what we call lomani, the hairs, and through the hairs and through the skin, we have what we call the sense of touch. So the sense of touch was born. And from the sense of touch, from the hairs and all, Aushadhi Vanaspatayo, all the Aushadhis, the plants, herbs, and, and trees were born. So the plants, herbs, and trees are the devata of the organ of touch. And these plants, herbs, trees are also lokapalas. They are the protectors of this world. Human beings are busy cutting trees and all, and destroying the balance of this world. But if the human beings become too aggressive and become too uh, adharmic, then Bhagavan alone will restrain the human beings or may destroy them also. Because the whole world has to continue to function. So the protectors of this world will protect the world. So the Aushadhis, Vanaspatis are there, who are the Lokpalas. Then Hridayam Niravidyata, then heart was born. So Shankaracharya writes, the Akshini, Karno, Hridayam, Antakkaranadhishtanam. So Hridaya is the adhishthan of Antakkaran. See, our Antakkaran is Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. This Antakarana functions through the heart. Our Antakarana functions through the heart. So heart is the adhishthan of the Antakarana, the Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So Manaha Antakaranam. Hridayam Niravidyate Hridayat Manaha. So mind was born, and from the mind, Chandrama, the moon was born. Moon is the devata of Chandrama. So the different phases of the moon affects our mind and indirectly affects our body also. So the phases of the moon play a very important role in the functioning of the mind. Therefore, all our festivals and all our seasons and all are based on the phases of the moon, on the tithis. So we have the various tithis, the Purnima, the Amavasya. Now an important Amavasya will be coming. So it affects our mind because it is the